What's up, Dragon Nation? I'm Rich with Dragon Nation Gaming. Welcome back to Space Engineers. Today, we have some work ahead of us. What I need to do is I need to take that design right behind me and we need to put it into the little tunnel that we built. This is going to be the primary structure. It needs to go 12 kilometers into the mountain. This is going to be a lot of work. So we do need to go over a few different things. So this is the basic design of the tunnel, but as you can see, it's kind of long. It actually has to go 3 blocks deep, and the vanilla welders just will not be able to reach that. So I think for the first time in this series, we're going to have to add a mod. This is the twin welders. What I'm going to do is I'm going to go ahead and create a mod list on the Steam Workshop, so that way whenever I add a mod, you guys will have access to it. I also wanted to test just what kind of range that welder had, and this is how far it actually... Oh, energy. This is actually how far the whole thing welded up. So I think that welder is actually going to work. Now, I could use the vanilla welders if I didn't do this design and just kept it like 1 block deep, but I want to try to make it look really good. If you take a look at this is pretty much the basic design I usually do for my bases, and it's worked out pretty well for me, not only because you can hide the conveyors, which are actually, if I can see, you can hide the conveyors in the armor blocks, and then it also has conveyor junctions, so that way you can add on to it anytime you want. I know a lot of people give me shit about adding a lot of conveyors to my designs, but at some point I might want to upgrade the design a little bit or add stuff to it. This allows me to do that, so I just connect stuff right here at the conveyor junctions. That's why I leave conveyor junctions when I'm building something like we did with the ice miner over here. When I first designed it, this whole leg right here was conveyor junctions. Now with the finalized blueprint, everything in there is just regular conveyors. I just put conveyor junctions so that way if I needed to add anything later to the design, it would be easy to do. But a lot of people have been giving me shit about that, and it's just something I do when I'm doing something like a prototype. So what we need to do is we need to get this in there. We need to build a machine kind of like the inchworm. I keep forgetting the damn name. We need to build something like the inchworm that will actually build all these blocks 1 kilometer deep into the mountain. As you can see, the inchworm is way back here. And I went ahead and put up a beacon so that way I can actually measure and see just how far we are. It's the blue you see right there. So right now, it's 650 meters. And here we are. We are now... Oh, no, it's actually right about there. 1 kilometer deep into the mountain. From here, we're going to go up. Straight up. Now, there's a couple ways I could do that. I could try to rebuild this whole thing vertically to go up into the mountain, but I want to try something. What I want to try is to see if I can't tip this whole thing, rotate it so that way it's pointing straight up. Oh, that's probably going to be really dumb, but hopefully I can get it figured out. So what we're going to do is there's a lot of ideas that I have for this world. Elevators using wheels and thrusters. Then we need the elevator for... I think I might actually get to do it once we get the tether done. Maybe an elevator that goes all the way up into space. I don't know. We'll have to figure that out. Then with the base, which I'm still trying to figure that out. I think what I'm going to do is after we dig up all the way to the surface up here, I think we're going to put the main part of the base somewhere right here. And down there will just be kind of like a garage for vehicles. So the reason I went with this design is, as I was saying when the series first started, I wanted one vehicle to be able to go out and one vehicle to be able to come in. So this kind of splits off the lanes a little bit. So the machine we need to build is one that I actually want to be able to connect to the inchworm. Let's get to the inchworm and I'll show you. All I should have to do to the inchworm is just add some welders to the back. Now, another thing I could do is get rid of all these conveyors, which are just temporary, with grinders, but I am going to need the resources in order to dig all the way up to the surface. So I won't actually put a grinder on it. Basically, all I would have to do to this design is just, I think I would add another 3 pistons, kind of like what we have here, just everything doing backwards to add a little bit more support, and then add welders, which would be right about here. But we need to get this built. We need to get the tunnel done. I know everybody's getting kind of tired of me working on this tunnel, but I'm trying to do this what I feel is correct. Kind of an industrial build, sort of. This is going to be fun. Alright, one thing we do have to look at is we have these arches here.
Energy low.
Again? Damn, didn't I just fill up energy? So we have this arch right here, but if I put an arch with the projector every single row, that would be way too many arches and way too many blocks. So what I think I'm going to do is I'm going to have 2 projectors on it. One that builds it in this orientation, and the other one which just takes this blueprint and turns it 90 degrees. 90? No, 180. My bad. Turns it 180 so it's actually facing the other way. So that way we have half the arches. But that's something we'll have to show when we get this done. So what I'm going to need is, we're going to need kind of a setup, kind of like the worm, but when I put the blueprint on the Steam Workshop, I won't have these many pistons. This is just to get this set up so I could get it into the creative world so we could try to get the blueprint. I just have to figure out how I'm going to do this. So I need to start, we have this first arch already. So we need to start somewhere in here, but I'm going to have to figure that out. So let me try to get all the sizes and everything. We could go ahead and use the conveyors and mergers, everything that we already have. But I need to get everything placed where it's going to go. It might take me a second. Alright, so all of that took me about 3 hours. It's already starting to get dark. I mean, the sun had just come up. Now it's already dark. Damn it. I think I'm going to turn off sun rotation, so that way I don't have to worry about light whenever I'm trying to do a video. But sitting here in the tunnel, it's going to be dark anyways. So one thing I had to figure out, the reason it took me so long, is I kind of have to do this all backwards from... Oh, I need to reverse this. Hold on. Yeah, I was sitting there trying to figure out... Ooh, does that wobble? Yeah, that guy wobbles just a little bit. I hope we'll be okay. It should be fine. Maybe. I don't know. The whole thing might just destroy itself, but we'll see. So what I realized after I did this is I'm going to have to do everything backwards. So I need the connector right here with that merge block and the projectors, so that way we can weld back here. Problem is this is going to be a lot of weight. I even have inertia tensor turned on, and it still wants to sync. But hopefully it doesn't create too much of a problem. So what this is going to do, as this part goes that way, this is going to weld up. That's why I needed the connector connected, and I couldn't do it back here, because in order to move this forward and the welders forward, I would have to disconnect the connector. So it has to be up there, and we have to move this arm as we're welding. I mean, one thing I could do is instead... Nah, I don't think that would work. Bring the conveyors all the way back from the front. I don't know. Whenever I get this thing, I want to connect this to the inchworm. So it's like one piece. But once I do that, some things are going to change, so I'll have to figure that out. Another thing I had to change was I had to add some merge blocks because it didn't quite make it over here. But I think everything is ready to go. There's only one way to find out. We'll go ahead and save. I still have to figure out all the timers and everything. But first, let's go ahead and get this through one rotation and see what happens. So one thing I didn't do is I didn't put all of the twin welders on. I think it's all of these, yeah. I didn't put them into a group. So let's just call them twin welders. Alright, let's go ahead and turn all those on. And look at that, they're already wanting to weld. Ooh, a little bit of frame drop. Damn, it's still welding. I think I might have to slow these pistons down. I have them set to 1. I think what I'll do is, seeing how slow those weld up, I think I might go ahead. Let me see if I can find them. It's piston, weld, lift. I'll go ahead and change all of those to 0.5. That's half it. And hopefully that works out. So this is pretty much what this whole thing is going to have to do. This is the sequence. So, oh, I don't have the second welder set up either, or the second projector. Alright, so let's retract these pistons. I mean, look at all this shit. I have so much stuff in here. Alright, so weld, lift, reverse. That might still be a little bit too fast. But it looks like everything is welding up. It is definitely causing a frame rate issue. Okay, it didn't. Okay, you gonna weld that stuff up? I think there's just too much stuff for him to weld. And it doesn't look like it got these blocks. Oh, that's because the conveyor's in there. Alright. So that is one thing I'm definitely gonna have to do. Huh. Okay, I'm gonna have to figure something out. That's not gonna work out. What I want these to do is I want them to stop right on this line right here. Damn it. Okay, that didn't work out. So what I'm gonna have to do, it looks like I'm gonna have to bring the welders a couple of blocks back. It's always something. Alright, now that it has those welded up, next thing it needs to do is turn this merge block on. So I think I named it welder. No? What did I name it? Okay, welder lower. Merge block. There we go. Turn that on. Piston weld lower. Reverse. Alright, nothing's blown up yet. That's good. Alright. Now the connector in the merge block, so weld. I think I named these upper. Yeah, there we go. So the connector needs to unlock. The merge block needs to shut off, and this piston needs to reverse. And then we need to shut off that projector. Hold on. Yep, that projector needs to shut off so we can go ahead and reset it. And also we need to start the other projector in the next set, but I need to get that lined up. So yeah, it looks like I'm gonna have to move these welders back. Oh! I forgot those welders have a bigger distance. Lovely. Alright. So I'm going to have to move those welders back one more block, it looks like. Let's go ahead and turn those welders off. New inventions, man. It's always the same thing. What did I name them? Double? Oh, no. I named them twin, didn't I? Yeah, twin welders. Let's go ahead and shut those off for right now. Alright, let's grab all of our stuff. Oops. Alright, so now what it needs to do is it needs to go through the process of building that projection. So all these lift pistons need to extend. So pistons, weld, lift, reverse. And it should line up with those connectors, that connector and that merge block right there. Now if they have, we go weld upper, and this is what all the timers have to do. So the merge block, turn on, piston weld, extend, and then weld upper connector, lock. Yeah? Okay, that's good. Now we need to undo this one. So weld and lower. So merge block off, piston reverse. Yep, they hit. It's alright. So yeah, these welders I need to bring back so that they're even with these blocks right here. It looks like it's going to be maybe 3 blocks. Can I just bring the whole system? Nah, I don't think that will work. So yeah, 3 blocks, which means we'd have to set up that projector, and then it would start another sequence of timers which would weld up that projection. So each projection is going to require 7 timers. So altogether 14 timers. Really? Holy shit, I guess so. Not to mention on the inchworm there's another 7. So altogether, oh man, this system's going to take excuse me, this system's going to take 21 timers. I'm making this way too complicated. But it's alright. It's fun. It's not half bad. So I don't think I'm going to be able to do a montage on this one because I need to redo a few things. What I think I'm going to do is I'm just going to go ahead and get rid of this one. I'm going to save it into a blueprint so that way I can get it into creative so I can connect it to the inchworm. And then we need to figure out how we can get the inchworm, if I can get over by it. Damn, this thing is long way away. Try to get the inchworm to tilt up so that way we can start digging vertically. I don't know if that is worth it. I mean, should I just rebuild it or just try to see if I can tilt it? I mean, it would be fun to try to figure that out. That would be a lot of work. So another thing I could do, so all I'm going to do is that welding system back there, I'm probably just going to put right back here. And the welders that I had up here, these ones right here, I can get rid of. And the ones that are up there, because the back system is going to be doing all of those conveyors. Now that we do have a mod, we'll be able to do it that way. I mean, I would like to keep it mostly vanilla, or all vanilla if I could, but there's just a few things that I want to do in this world that I can't do with vanilla. So yeah, these welders need to be back up. Also, another thing I could do, at some point when I get this all together, this whole platform, yeah, I should be able to put refineries and assembler on this platform. Just make like a armor platform or something, put refineries and assemblers on it. So that way, as this thing goes down, I could also grind down all these conveyors, which are just temporary. I don't need them anymore. Especially if the entire system has its own refineries and assemblers, there won't be any cargo because then it would be way too heavy. But what I can do is this thing will just recycle resources. So it'll go down the tunnel, it'll grind down all of this to the next section, and then it will just reuse what it just ground down to build the next section. All we need is a refinery and an assembler for the initial start. So when we first start digging and get the stone, we need to turn those into components. So yeah, this system, it'll work. I can get it to work, maybe. I'll have to figure out a way to make this shorter, and then the whole thing when it wobbles so much. So I'll get that figured out when I put it on the Steam Workshop. But this is pretty much it. It's gonna take a little bit more work. I mean, I've already been working on it 3 hours, and it's probably gonna take me another 3 or 4. Alright, so next thing, I think we're ready. We're almost starting the garage. The garage will be all the way in there where the inchworm is now, but first I need to get the inchworm out of the way. So I don't know. I don't think I'm going to try to do that. I don't think I'm going to try to do the tilt up. I think I'm just going to grind this down and then just rebuild it. Because trying to tilt this thing up might cause a whole lot more trouble. Also, I would need to dig all this out, so that way you can actually get up. So yeah, I think I'll just go ahead and get rid of both these once this tunnel is done. And then I'll just build a new one to go up vertically. Then we can start on a garage. I'll probably do that on my own, because we've already seen it. We already know what it does. It's not a big deal. And hopefully here pretty soon I can go ahead and get this on the Steam Workshop. I know I'm doing a lot of talking, but my mind is processing as I talk all the stuff that I could do. So I am going to upload this with the twin welders. Now, if you just want to keep it vanilla, I guess you could just change up the design of the tunnel and just make it one wide. I mean, that would be easy, but I'm going to go ahead and add the twin welders when I put it on the Steam Workshop. But there's a few other mods I want to add as well. But anyways, so I just wanted to make a short video real quick because I don't have a whole lot of time, and I ended up spending a whole lot more time than I planned. But that's the way it goes when you play Space Engineers. You start playing and you're like, oh, I'm just going to play for an hour. Next thing you know, the sun is coming up. But it's starting to come along. We'll get there. We're almost there. Next episode, we'll go ahead and start working on the garage. The tunnel up to the top of the mountain should already be done, hopefully. We can start working on an elevator, because actually I think that's the first thing we'll do. We'll go ahead and get the elevator planned out, get that sorted out, and then we'll start on the garage. And then the fun will begin. The process of a production facility, maybe trying to build a train, because everybody's built trains. I never have. That's one thing I would like to try to do at some point. But anyways, we'll worry about all that in the next episodes. Until then, make sure to like and subscribe, all that good stuff. I'll see you all in the next one. Peace.